if you want my honest opinion, no one actually really wants to win the lotto. They want the peace that the lotto will give them. They want the freedom, the inner freedom that the lotto will give them. That inner excitement that the lotto will give them. So my question to you today is, what conditions have you set as a prerequisite for the peace, love, and joy that you experience? And before I go on, the reason I ask it is because those conditions ultimately create an illusion that an external circumstance is dependent on the very things that you are seeking. But the thing is, the thing that you are seeking, that peace, love, and joy, is what you are. So ultimately, you're seeking yourself. Because you are, the truth of your essence is pure love vibration. And it can be subtle, right? Everyone thinks wanting to win the lotto is harmless, but what are people really after? You know, a lot of people say they're looking for the one. They're looking for that relationship, looking for love. But are they not looking for a condition to feel the love inside of themselves that they already have? That's my question. Because when someone enters into a relationship, they are feeling that love they are feeling. It's generated from within their own inner heart. But when we set the condition, we can create the illusion that you need that to activate what is already within you. Sometimes it's a bit more subtle, you know. A good example, maybe we all want our families to be well. But if you require a certain person to have a certain emotion, or for a certain outcome to happen for a certain person, for you to feel peace within, at the heart of it, that's a conditional freedom, a conditional peace narrative. So even from a place of goodwill, obviously we should want what's good for everyone. You should always, and even on the relationship side, you can still have beautiful relationships. If your heart guides you towards someone and it's from a place of love, please do. But what I'm trying to point to here is there's no point in doing any of these things unless you already have what you seek. So yes, go for a relationship if you've already found the love within you. In terms of wanting what's good for other people, that's a beautiful thing. Please keep doing that. But what I'm trying to say is, it's subtle. And just do your situational best to put your own inner awareness on it. Just put your own inner awareness on it. That love vibration, that love presence from your heart, which that you are, just by you being present with it and just looking at it, you will dissolve it. And just by being aware of it. These conditional narratives. You know, it's interesting. Another one is, conditional excitement, conditional joy. I don't have anything against traveling. I really don't have anything against traveling. But it's very interesting. Often when I'm at work, I speak to people. And the first and last thing which always gets their face to light up, it's travel. I don't have anything against it. But I choose to travel within. This is just me being honest. I choose to travel within. For me, that's really visiting a new place. But besides the point, they travel because to them that creates a feeling of excitement within them. So the traveling is the condition to activate excitement. What I'm saying on the surface sounds very obvious, but it goes deeper than you think once you contemplate it, because the obvious ones are actually where the gift is. And then again, there's nothing wrong with traveling. As I say, question the why. That's all I'm saying. Just question the why and have compassion for yourself. You know, like at the end of the day, these conditions show up to us at different times. Oftentimes, you know, they were passed on to us from a young age. A lot of the times it happens in the subconscious. So what I'm trying to say is, don't be hard on yourself. Just have compassion for it, but do your situational best to just be present, to just be aware. Just be aware. You know, even the conditions of needing to have a house, needing to have a family, needing to get married by a certain age, needing to have a social life. These are all the prerequisites. It's funny. Like, and as I say, you don't need to worry about where the conditions came from. They've come from the earthly narratives. They've come from your parents. They've come from movies. They've come from many different places. The why isn't as important. Putting your awareness on it and alchemizing it is what matters. Because when you experience these conditions, you'll notice often when you don't have these conditions, you will notice a constriction within. And that's your real gift right there. Because if you can alchemize that constriction, you've alchemized the condition. Once you've alchemized the condition, you step back into the truth of who you are. Pure unconditional love. And this is the truth of it. This is the truth of it. And I know it's not easy. Because we've actually been actively encouraged to basically attach to conditions like there's no tomorrow. You're even seen as weird if you don't attach to conditions. But what I'm here to tell you is forget all the noise, forget every single earthly narrative you got told, and just focus on remembering what you are. But sometimes the best way to remember who you are is to forget what you aren't. And this is what I'm pointing to. This is what I'm pointing to. Because all these roles, whether that be career, whether that be, as I've already mentioned, the relationships, whether that be, having a certain amount of people in your life, certain positive things happening for them, whether that be, even financial, winning the lotto, whether that be traveling, the list goes on. It's not important. I've listed some basic ones, but just focus on what conditions you've set. And I'm not saying anything's good or bad. I'm just pointing. What I'm trying to say is, if you would like to experience peace, love, and joy without strings attached and not relying on something else, just be aware of what's driving that. And as I say, what's driving that, not all of that might be bad. I want to point that out. But at the heart of it, I think we would all rather have unconditional peace, love, and joy. Irrespective of what happens, because that is what we are. That is literally what we are. So it's all a matter of just letting go of these earthly narratives to be a certain way, to see things a certain way, to achieve things in a certain way. You didn't come up with this stuff. It was told to you. And it's okay if you took it on. As I say, it's not your fault. At the end of the day, don't focus on the fault, but focus on the responsibility. The power of God lives within your heart, and that is such a beautiful and powerful thing. So irrespective of how it came to be, you can make it undone. You can put on a new mindset. You can put on the mind of God, that true mind of God, which guides you towards ultimately actuality, which is the truth of who you are, the truth of love, the truth of your heart, that love vibration that you are, unconditional. I'll probably make a part 2 on this, but it was just a message on my heart, and I wish you all the best as usual.